All right, we're here with John Gruden, my man Mike Robb. Coach, the best part of the interview already happened, so we can probably just hang it up, put the mics down. We got some insight into even the mic'd up stuff. That was fun. How fun is it to be back coaching football?
Well, you got no idea. We've got a great group of guys. I really feel confident in my coaching staff. We put a lot of work in preparing for this camp, and to be back on the grass, fighting for yards, it's a blast. And we do have one heck of a quarterback here. We're excited.
Awesome. How hard was it to kind of, and I don't know if it was changing the identity or changing the narrative on this organization, but I mean, in the past, it hadn't been a great line here. How hard has it been to kind of change that mojo or change the identity of this team?
Well, it is hard. You know, we've had one winning season in the last 14 years. I think since I was traded, I think we've had 10 different head coaches. Yeah. But we have good guys. We have good players. We have a really good coaching staff. We have an opportunity to do something with it. And all we can do is string good days together and get this silver and black train on track and start winning some football games. That's all we're trying to do.
So when you took the job, I know you love watching film, you eat up the game. When you popped it on and the team last year and just the personnel, what were your initial thoughts on either how can I make these guys into what I want to do, what I've been looking over the last 10, 15 years and even before that, or you know, how do I adapt to fit these guys? Well, how much was it a combination of both those things?
Well, it is. You have to evaluate your personnel first, your cap situation second, and then your resources third. Where do we draft? How much money can we spend? Who's available? You just don't come in here and wave a wand and say, we're back. We're back to the glory days. Yeah. We got to build our team around our quarterback. We did that in the draft. We drafted 2 offensive tackles. We brought in some good supporting players like Jordy Nelson, Doug Martin, a couple guys like Breno Giacomini that's got a ring from playing with you. And we helped ourselves, I think, on defense. I really think you're going to like Arden Key and Maurice Hurst, our 2 young defensive linemen. We added some veteran players that know Paul Guenther's system, Leon Hall, Emmanuel Lemure, and I think that gives us a chance, but we still have a long way to go before we're ready to roll.
Yeah, Coach, you talk about that defense, and you know I got to ask, can the defense be as good as it wants to be or needs to be without Khalil Mack, your star pass rusher, being here?
We weren't very good last year on defense with Khalil Mack, and we didn't have an interception, I think, all year. I don't know if we intercepted a pass until week 14. We've got to get a better pass rush. We've got to play better defense, period. And we hope Khalil gets in here, but in the time being, we have plenty of guys that need work.
You know what makes things fun in training camp, we were talking off camera, is competitiveness and just getting after guys. How competitive has it been? And I know as an offensive coach and a quarterback, we never want to see the defense do well. So you going against Guenther, how has that been in kind of with wearing the head coaching hat? Do you get excited when the offense wins and you're kind of like still a little nervous for the defense, or is it always let's just go kick their butt? Yeah, how do you manage that?
Well, you know how it is. This has been the story of my life. When I'm calling the plays, I want the plays to work.
Sure, every one of them, no doubt.
And if it doesn't work, I either yell at Derek or I yell at somebody that missed the block.
Right.
It's never my fault.
No, never.
It's never my fault. But I love to compete. You'll hear a lot of trash talking out there. The defense loves to reject all of my plays. They don't like to see me happy and fist pumping, but I think that brings out the best in us. You know, Paul Guenther, he likes to send me home to my room miserable, and I like to send him home to his room miserable.
I like it.
But I think that competition fuels good things for our players.
Coach, you look at the rest of the AFC West. I know you've studied the rest of the AFC West. Kind of, you know, where do you guys fit in that mix? And I know, you know, you're the head coach of the Oakland Raiders, but how do you guys fit in that mix, and how do you see this division setting up?
Well, this is a dangerous division. I know the Chiefs very well from covering them and being good friends with Andy Reid. They're the defending champs, and rightfully so. And Mahomes is the real deal. You'll see. This guy's a talented gunslinging quarterback. I think the Chargers have as good a pass rush as there is in the league, and perhaps one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks that you'll see all season in Phillip Rivers. And the Denver Broncos, I really believe, added one of the free agent acquisitions of the year in Case Keenum. I don't know why Minnesota let him out of there. I wish they would have kept him. I'm really upset with him because he is a bulldog. He's a really good quarterback. He brings Denver, I think, some stability at a critical position.
When you look at it, it's going to be such a tight division. When you see your football team and you're thinking about what you're about to implement as far as the identity of this football team, what gives you guys the edge? Like, what's going to set the 2018 Oakland Raiders apart from everybody else?
Well, we have too much to prove right now. We've had one padded practice. I think when you watch us play, hopefully you're going to see supreme effort. you're going to see some guys that are doing everything that they can to win a football game, and regardless of the circumstances. There's going to be peaks and valleys. Guys are going to be injured. We're going to have a lot of negative things happen, just like every other locker room. But you're going to see a mentally tough football team that plays hard. I think that has balance. I think we're going to be able to run the ball with Derek here. I know we're going to be able to throw the ball to some degree, but we've just got to lay good days together here at training camp and let all the predictions take care of themselves.
Yeah, you're talking about running the football, Coach. Obviously, I'm an old fullback, so I'm very concerned about running the football. Been talking to Beast Mode. First of all, he loves you. He loves your attitude, loves the run game. Talk about how big the run game is going to be for this team. Obviously, you have Doug Martin coming over from Tampa Bay also. How important is the run game going to be to the identity of this team?
Well, I think it's going to be important, and we have a lot of ways to run it. We can get into a two-back set. Keith Smith came over from Dallas, and I watched Lynch carefully in his glory years in Seattle. He had a fullback in front of him. You know the guy?
Yeah, I know.
They had a blocking tight end named Zach Miller.
Zach Miller, yeah.
They weren't running zone reads and pop passes and all that stuff. They were running the old-fashioned way, and I think we have some components in place to do that. We also want to get Derek in a spread-out open system and run the ball from a single-back set with all those fancy bubble passes you guys
like that stuff.
So we got a lot of ways to go, but who's healthy, who's hot, who we're playing is going to have a lot to say how we play.
Talking about this offense, is Spider 2 wide banana a real thing?
It is. It is. Just hit the fullback in the flat.
He's open every time.
Every time, dog.
Your brother won't even look to the fullback. He's looking for the wide banana.
What?
That aggressive, the cars.
Man.
That's
Never
all
go
right,
broke
man.
taking a profit.
Yeah, I agree.
Come on.
So talking about the offense again, because I can't help myself. Jordy Nelson is a guy that obviously a lot of people bring in veteran wide receivers to kind of help the wide receiver room or bring those guys up, but he can still run. I feel like he can still play. I'm talking to Derek. I know he can still play. What has he meant having him on this football team?
Well, I can't speak for everybody, but he can still run. I mean, we had one of those things, speedometers that tell you how fast you run. We put one out on our practice field, and he's ripping down there 22 miles an hour. He can run. He ran away from everybody the other day. Now we're going to be smart with him here in camp, but he brings us more than just a big speed receiver. This is the most reliable guy you'll ever coach.
No doubt.
And you want 12 yards, he's going to be 12. You want to be a yard outside the numbers, that's where he's going to be. And he gives us a presence, I think, in the meeting rooms that is unbelievable. He helps Amari Cooper. He's helping our young slot receiver because, he's been in the big games and he's played great in the bigger the games are. So he's a real big addition for us.
This might be a selfish question for me. 4th and 1 on the goal line. On the 1 yard line, do you throw it or do you hand the football off, Coach? What do you do?
I used to give it to a beast myself. Mike Allstott, we had a guy that was well-known cruncher inside the 1. But look, we're gonna try to run the ball when we get inside the 1. You know that. What am I supposed to say?
I love it. Okay, last one. So Amari Cooper, what are your plans for Amari? I know, you probably want to give him the ball as much as possible, but what have you seen so far that excites you?
Well, he came back. He's 225 pounds.
That's why I grabbed him, and I was like, really?
I remember coaching the receivers in Green Bay. We had a guy like him as Sterling Sharp who had rare speed and size and strength. And we're going to move him all over the place. We're hoping he can stay injury-free and have a great training camp. But he's off to a superb start. But he is smart. He's elusive. He can run after the catch. We got to get more ways to get him the football, and that we'll try.
Fantastic. Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining us.
All right,
you're
busy.
busy.
You
You got it, man.
All right. You guys come on, help me out. You guys want to take a few reps?
We'll throw it around. I'll take Derek's reps. I don't mind doing that at all.